What are we going to do here?
We're going to see the coal mine.
Coal mine.
Isn't that adorable? How sweet. Is this too big? Is it falling in my face?
Alright, you can put it up, please. I don't think we can afford that.
Each tour of the Beckley exhibition coal mine lasts about 30 minutes. So while waiting on the next tour to start, we poked around in the gift shop for a while and checked out some very amazing things that they had, like these handcrafted pieces of coal.
You want us to sit here?
Please.
This turned out to be a perfect activity to do on a hot summer's day, because as we entered the tunnel, the temperature dropped tremendously.
Little warning before it gets started here. If any of this old mine water drips on you while we're underground here, a couple of weeks you're gonna wake up and have a mustache like us old mine tour guys. Now then, give you a little history. What this place was known as was the Phillips family mine. And they started mining coal here in 1890. And they mined coal until 1910. Then the mine sat idle until 1962, when the city of Beckley acquired it to make this exhibition coal mine. Now when they were mining coal here, what they were mining it for was for house coal, for heating and cooking. The seam we're in here is what's known as the Sewell seam, and in this area it ranged in thickness from 28 inches to 40 to 42 inches. So needless to say, they were crawling everywhere they went. The only place they would take any height on purpose was in the haulage entry, where the mine cars were pulled in and out of the mine. And the only reason why they took the height then was due to the animals that they used. They used either goats or large dogs, donkeys or ponies to pull them cars with. So they had to have that height for them. Now our little 1-ton car of coal right here for the miner back in, that was 20 cents. They made 20 cents a ton loading coal. And they say a good coal loader would load somewhere between 6 and 10 ton a day. So he's making $1.20 to $2 a day. And the way he got his credit for his coal was when he loaded that car, that little car had a hook on the side of it. And he had some of these little metal check tags like this one. That little old check tag had his payroll number on it. And whenever he would load the car, he would take that check tag, put it on the hook on the car. Car would go out to the dump. They would take the tag off, give him credit for his coal. Unfortunately though, even back then we had some dishonest individuals running around. And if one of those persons happened to be in the haulage entry when the cars were being taken out, every once in a while they'd reach over and flip a tag off a car and put their tag on. That way they'd get paid for a ton of coal that they didn't load, and somebody else would be a ton short. So what them old miners did to help stop that, took a block of wood like this, and they nailed one of their check tags to a block of wood. Whenever an empty car was put into place for him to load, first thing he'd do is put his block of wood in the bottom of the car, load his coal on top of it. When the car went out to the dump and was dumped, his tag would be on top. That way he made sure he got his credit. It's good thinking. Now, whenever we mine coal, one of the things that happens is we release gases. And the primary gas that's released is methane. Methane is natural gas. Same stuff we use at home. Only difference is what we use at home, the gas company is treated with a chemical so you can smell it. Because methane in its natural state is colorless, odorless, tasteless. It's lighter than air and highly explosive. You think back there to the late 1800s, miners didn't have much of a way of detecting gases. Until finally somebody, somehow, some way, found out that our little canary bird had the physiology that could sense a change in the atmosphere. So miners started carrying a cage like this with a canary into the workplace with him. Set him over to the side, and as long as his little canary was singing, he knew things was good. But if something happened, he realized he hadn't heard his canary for a while, and he looked over. The little canary was in distress. He knew something was wrong. He'd get out of his workplace, work on his ventilation to get rid of whatever was disturbing his canary. And they carried the canaries for several years until they finally developed what we call our flame safety light. And so flame safety light served two purposes. Like I said, methane, lighter than air, it's going to be on top. You take your light, put it up against the top, and watch that flame. That flame started to grow. You knew you had methane. But also with this, you could check for low oxygen. It's heavier than air. It's laying on the mine floor. And so you take your lamp, put it on the mine floor, and you watch that flame. If it started to go out, then you knew you had low oxygen. So either way, the low oxygen or the methane, the old miner again would work on his ventilation to get rid of it. And we ended up carrying these things till 1999 due to the fact they could not perfect an oxygen sensor for their handheld detectors excuse me, that was reliable enough to use underground till mid to late 90s.
Why didn't the settling cause the explosion, or did it?
It did.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that open flame and candles and those wicks and carbide light, they were all, the year 1907, that was the deadliest year for coal mining industry in the United States. And in that year, there was over 3,200 miners killed. And the majority of them were killed due to explosions. So no doubt the lighting had a lot to do with that, causing that problem. But they had nothing else to use. You think back then, there was no.
As the tour continues, we learn so much about how the coal mining industry has changed over the years. We learned about the many machines that were used to excavate coal from the mine, and the many safety measures that have developed over the years to make the workplace more safe. Before we know it, the ride was over. We were back out into the hot summer sun, where we would continue the tour on foot through the coal camp that has been set up in the area.
So you've been here before.
Long time ago. It's been done up a lot since I was here before.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. But I have seen this before. And this is a neat place to come visit. And it's really beautiful, actually.
Yeah. Talk about a tiny house.
Yeah.
Everything you need right here. Because back then there wasn't no bathrooms.
Uh-uh.
Had a little bed and a little place to eat. Place to cook. Well, that's vanity to shave, but I mean, you didn't actually use the bathroom. Okay.
I don't know if we're supposed to go up this way or this way.
I'd say both. We just found out there's a campground connected to this, and we're going to check the whole thing out. We got a picnic area up there.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. And it got an open spot. So if we need to come here, baby, we can do it. Yeah. I see another spot open.
This is nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was a full hookup campground.
Would be the place to come.
Another playground up there.
This is probably all Beckley Parks and Rec.
Maybe. But it was neat that we saw, you know, full hookup here.
I know.
Right next to the,
I mean, literally, there's
exhibition coal mine.
there's literally a path.
And you just walk down to the exhibition coal mine.
And that apparently this is connected to the park because there's that really nice pool down here too.
Oh, that's right, with the water slides. I wonder if that being in the campground gets you into the pool.
Oh, very well could. It does at home.
Yeah. We might try this out sometime. I didn't know there was a campground attached to this place.
I think it's associated with this very nice park because if you look, the path continues this way. Turn the camera around.
I'll just turn around and show them.
You can see that path goes back, and I think that
That
also
path
loops
there.
back to the campground as well.
Yeah, but it comes right down here into the exhibition coal mine area, which is really cool.
Yeah, we'll show you some of that too, but this is a really neat place. And there's more here to explore than you would think. So you should definitely come check this out if you get an opportunity. It's really pretty here, and it's relaxing. It's not, crazy touristy areas, which is what we prefer anyway.
Right. But it's still a great place to learn and explore, and there's plenty of things to do. And we saw the park had a nice big huge pool with water slides and stuff like that, so that'd be a lot of fun too.
And I think that's what this campground is linked to.
Finally found a place we can afford. Not much, but at least it's got a bathroom.
Put hot coals inside. There is a handle that broke off because it had a very small thin spot there. And you'd have a wooden dowel across here. Hi folks. Hi. And you could hold the wood and not burn your hand. They didn't do much ironing though because there were very few clothes. They had one good outfit for social gatherings and maybe going to church, one or two work outfits. And there's no closets in this old building. They just didn't have need for it. They would hang their clothes on pegs, like those over there by the bedroom wall. This is a coffee grinder. When they could get coffee, the settlers sometimes would have to travel a couple of days by horse and wagon to get to a general store, and they would buy things they couldn't grow, like salt, sugar, flour, sometimes coffee, maybe some canning supplies or some buckshot. So if they ran out of coffee, they would just go in the woods and get this root called sassafras that grows wild here. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It makes a pleasant tasting hot tea. In fact, if you don't know what sassafras tastes like, think of root beer. They use it to flavor root beer. So on this side of the room over here, we have what's called a rope bed. This is the kind of bed they would make. Even that big one up there, it's a rope bed. During this time period, they didn't use slats underneath the mattress like we do today. They would just knot rope up and suspend their mattress on the rope. Now rope stretches and sags after a while, so there would be a stick at one end, and when it would sag too much, you just tighten that stick, twist it, and have you heard the old saying, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite? Well, this is where it got its start from, because I told you about the bugs that would get in the mattress. So did you have any questions on anything?
This is beautiful.
What would be the, this home seems to be really fancy. So they're pretty well-to-do family.
It's a little less typical for this time period. Most people start out with one room, one floor, and get under shelter as quick as possible, get a crop in the ground. So this seems a little bit fancy for the 1844, but I don't know that it was necessarily as much a wealthy family as maybe a large family, had more hands to do the work. Maybe an uncle or a brother, because there were 17 to 22 people living, 17 to 21 people living here. Wow. So you had more hands to do the work. The more people, the larger the family, the more prosperous the family. So this one was a good-sized family.
Were all the outbuildings
part of the community? No, they were all brought in. Now what would gather in a homestead area is if you had a blacksmith, if you had a general store, then that would start drawing people to you. If you had a grist mill, which ground corn, that would start drawing people. But these are gathered from different locations.
Okay, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, and it was located in Bennett County, just east of here, about 10 or 15 miles.
iPad of the day.
Yeah, that was the iPads of back then. It was the iPads of the time.
Very neat.
There's actually a upstairs to this too.
Yeah, the last teacher in the school was a man, and he had his living quarters upstairs there. Probably had just bare basics like a desk and a chair and a bed and a rug on the floor and maybe a table, and didn't have much else, but
Well,
at least he had his quarters provided to him. Works better to make kind of big letters, because if you make tiny little A's and O's, they'll run together and turn into dots on it. You might have to redip it about every other letter too, yeah.
Yeah, just.
Huh. We're going up. As long as it's sitting like Tower of Terror.
That doesn't bother me. It scares you, not me.
It doesn't scare me, it just makes me sick.
So you say.
Yeah.
While in the coal mining museum, we found out that the miners were not paid in cash, but in company scrip, which was only good at the company store. This opened up the door for them to charge whatever they wanted to for the products that were in the company store, because that was the only place they could buy the products with that particular company scrip. Oftentimes, the coal miners would sell their scrip for undervalue in exchange for cash so that they could buy products elsewhere.
I've had a good time. We had a great time going through the caverns and exploring the exhibition coal mine. It was a good time.
Definitely a good time. We haven't even checked out the youth museum, but I think we'll try that next time maybe.
Yeah, we kind of run out for today.
Yeah, it's time to get go to Walmart, get a few things, and head back to the camper. Sorry about the air conditioner noise. It's just way too hot to be in here without it. But before we left the exhibition coal mine, I was able to get a brochure that told me about the campground. And the campground is only 30 bucks a night if you're lucky enough to get one of the 17 spots. It's a very good price, and you're right there where all the exhibitions are. I will tell you this, that in September, Exhibition Coal Mine also hosts the Rocket Boys Festival. If you don't know anything about the Rocket Boys, have you ever seen that movie October Sky? It's about the 4 boys that started designing rockets, and they got recognized by NASA. They've got a festival about those 4 boys that they have annually every year, and that is also held at the Exhibition Coal Mine. So that might be a good time to go to the Exhibition Coal Mine and get in the campground if you can. But there's lots of things, amenities that are around there. You get discounts to get into the pool area and water slides and things like that. You get discounts on all the things that are around there. It's not free. It's not included with the price, which is probably why it's only 30 bucks and it's pretty cheap, because you're going to have to pay extra for the other things. But the campground turned out to be pretty nice, and we're probably going to trek it out someday. As we go, we want to say please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Just have some happy camping.